For centuries, the UK pub industry has run on the so-called beer time model. Pub companies determine not only the rent that landlords pay, but also what beers they sell. But now, that model could be torn up after UK politicians voted to change the way in which many of the country's 50,000 pubs buy their beer. If the changes come into force, pub landlords will be able to buy any beer they want. Campaigners have hailed the decision as a victory for struggling pub landlords, while pub companies say it will harm investment and lead to thousands of pub closures.
The competition authorities have looked at this industry on and off for the past 25 years, and they've never seen a reason to step in and intervene. There are, of course, other reasons to do with Britain's sort of social history, the idea of the pub as an important amenity, particularly for rural communities. And indeed, there are various ideas people have kicked around to try and help landlords who are in difficulty. For example, trying to rebalance the relationship between the very large pub company and the small pub by making, for example, the way rents are set rather more transparent. It's very much bigger step to say that you should start to rewrite past contracts.
The vote, which was won by a small margin of 15, was also an embarrassment for the government. 17 Conservative MPs rebelled against their party to change the law, including Steve Barclay.
Well, what it does is it gives the landlord the option of not having to be tied into a deal that is often very uncompetitive. I don't think it's a panacea in itself in the way that sometimes is claimed, but it does give them choice, and I think it's important that landlords have that choice to be able to shop around, to not be tied in to the pub companies, many of whom have behaved in an unethical way. So it empowers the landlord to opt for the market rate should they wish to do so.
This is a very significant defeat for the government. It wasn't expected, and it's on a piece of government legislation they thought they would get through. And it's significant in that the government actually hasn't been defeated on a piece of legislation during this coalition. So to lose at this moment, 6 months out of the election, was both a surprise, a shock and a disappointment for them.
For Enterprise Inns and Punch Taverns, two of the UK's biggest listed pub companies, the changes are a wrecking ball into their business model. But for pub landlords, they could mean more freedom and more money in their pockets. Kadhim Shubber, Financial Times, London.